Don with Cedar Mountain Survival. So, made a couple videos recently. One being with my daughter, and another one working on starting a fire with char cloth or char material, and how to make char cloth and char material in the wild, specifically utilizing punkwood and cattail. Cattail, if you char it correctly, will make a good tinder source for your abilities to start a Flint and Steel Fire out in the woods, and that's what the video is about. Utilized a Esee Fire Steel for the video that I acquired recently, and it worked really well. And you'll be able to see in the video how well it actually works with the proper tinder material, and how to blow your tinder bundle into a flame. So that was one of the videos that I did, and if you did learn something, or you found the video useful or enjoyed it, hit the like and subscribe button on my channel. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's Tom with Cedar Mountain Survival. Springtime, I'll find grasses in this clearing, in this field. The snowpack is so high right now that there's probably 3 or 4 feet of snow on the ground. You can't find any dry grasses, which usually make good tinder. So I usually hike up the ridge there, snowshoe, and hike there also in the summer and collect grass or whatever happens to be growing on the ground that's dry and you're able to utilize for a tinder bundle. But if you don't find grasses in an area like this time of year, obviously birch bark, old man's beard. If you can find a swampy area with some cattail, those are some tinder type material that you can utilize in the dead of winter, even if there's a lot of snow on the ground. So just wanted to make that point that there is usually a lot of grass in this area in the summer and spring and fall, but in the dead of winter you might find yourself without any grasses showing above the snow, unless it's a low-lying area. So you want to utilize those other sources you have for tinder. Out here today, I just came out on my way to here, which I know there was there's a swamp out here with some cattail in it, and gathered some stuff along the way, some birch, old man's beard, part of a bird's nest that was in a blowdown, and I actually found some punk wood underneath my pipe there that I'll probably try to char up. The goal is going to be obviously some fire here, and I noticed as I cross the stream, a lot of the grass and stuff out here, there's a field back there too, which I was hoping I could get some grass in that was exposed, but we have so much snow this March here in Maine that all that grass is covered up, but there's some right down here by the stream here, which I'll try to collect without falling in. That's one thing about coming where the cattail is that it is usually a wet area. You want to make sure that you do your best not to get your feet wet, but I'm just going to collect some cattail and try and shoot for stuff like that, stuff that's still encased. There's a lot of stuff that most of it's actually fluffed out. I'm going to get some that is closed up like that and try to char it up for tinder. See how that goes. So I got a Esee Fire Steel in the mail, and I want to try and use that. I got actually bought some flint, and I brought a small piece of that with me too to light some char cloth that I had already made up and see if I can get blow it into a flame. So I'm going to grab some of this grass over here and incorporate it into my stuff that I collected on the way here, see if I can blow it into a flame. So here's what I collected down by the stream there, some swampy swale grass and I'll get some small sticks off some of the dead fir trees, some of the lower branches. Over here, made a bird's nest of some of that swale grass by the swamp there. I'm going to give this a try. I got a flint steel from Esee Fire Steel, and I ordered some actual flint because it's hard to find quartz around here right now, which is what we have in the area for utilizing locally. But I got some flint from it's called Willie's Outdoor Emporium off of Amazon. I'll include a price in the video. What I paid, it was really pretty reasonable, and they gave me two really big pieces of flint and one smaller one. I brought the smaller piece to demonstrate in this video, but I'm going to get that out of my fire kit here, and I've got some char cloth already made up, and I thought we'd try to get a fire going. The goal is to char up some of the punkwood and cattail that I just collected. Actually found a piece of punkwood on the way in here, and found someone. I was on the lake with my daughter the other day, so we're gonna see if we can't get a spark and get this thing started here. More than enough char cloth here, so see if we can't get an ember going. Already got an ember. It's really pretty easy to get an ember there. Quick in there. So see, this grass burns pretty well. Found some twigs and sticks off of some dead fir that's real close by here, so actually got this stuffed in here a little bit too tight. Little catch. Just gonna kind of put my material on top of the stove here, and it'll, with any luck, drop down in. Patient with it. Can't really see probably that it's lit, but it is burning down in there. Somewhat. Let's get some of these twigs on there. See, using the emberlit stove, I packed it a little too tight with the grass, but I think it's going to work. Kind of a breezy day. Had some really breezy days here in March. weather's been not very conducive to fire starting, but usually I have pretty good luck with this stove. It tends to shield it from the wind a little bit and helps you get a fire going. So I'm just going to kind of keep adding some small stuff in there and feed it gradually. And get some bigger stuff in there, and we'll see if we can't char up some material in the stove. One thing about starting a fire with an ember, it's nice to have a big nest, if you will, or a wad of grasses or dried material. Kind of a big bundle of it is better, or easy to start for some reason. I guess it just holds in the heat a little bit better. You get a little bit of ventilation through the grasses so that you can blow it into a flame. But really small stuff to light there. Gradually dry out some bigger stuff on the top. I've done some videos on the Emberlet stove. If you want to check my channel, there should be a pretty extensive video and review on the stove. I've used it a lot. Really like this backpacking stove, survival stove. The benefit is, number one, you don't need a dry base to set it right here on the snow and get a fire going in the wind. If you have windy conditions, or if you have a lot of snowpack in the area, the stove works really good to start fires. So you get this loaded up pretty good, and then I'm going to grab my Altoid container. Just have an Altoid can here with I did put a hole in the top. I'm told you don't have to do that, but I think I like having the hole in the top there, because you can kind of see when the gases are done escaping, and kind of let you know when your char cloth's done. You also can just watch the hinges here in the back if you didn't have the hole, to let you know when the char cloth is or char material has been properly charred. But yeah, so I just put my my Esee Fire Steel and my flint right in this container, along with whatever char material or char cloth that I happen to have on hand, and you can see barely even had to strike it to get an ember on my char material. So really like that method as a way to start a fire. It's very efficient, and you're able to find materials that you need in the wild to do it. So you don't need a lighter. You don't need a ferrocerium rod. And the benefit is you can, even if you don't have a piece of flint, here in the Northeast you can utilize quartz. Usually there's a indigenous type of mineral in the area that you're able to strike sparks from the flint steel that's what you want to use. But I did order that flint online, and I have to say it's very effective. Alright, so wherever you find cattail in the wild, makes a really good fire and food source. I knew there's some out here in the woods out beyond the house. There's a swamp area out here, and in the springtime the shoots make really good food. And if you dig up the roots can be cooked up for a starch, good starch and protein source of food. Pretty good all-around plant. You can use it for Tinder as well. Char material, you can char the tops so that they catch a spark and ignite. You can also use cattail. I saw a video of a guy that lit the end of it, and if you light the end of it, it'll stay smoldering for a long period of time. You can actually move camp and move your fire to a different location. It just keeps the ember for a good long time. I'll do a video where I time that so that it'll give you an idea of how long something like that will last as an ember, but it looks like it'll last for quite a while, and you can conserve your ember that way. But makes an excellent food source. You want to make sure you get it in an area such as this. It's away from any contaminants. Near a roadway probably wouldn't be good, because cattail is a filtering plant. It absorbs all the toxins in the environment. You see it a lot near chemical plants and what have you. I think it does a job of absorbing a lot of the poisons and contaminants in the area. So you want to be careful when you eat it that's in an area such as this that is not going to have any contaminants around it. I'll come back this summer or spring when that's available, and we'll maybe do a video on how to procure and harvest cattail for eating. It also, towards the end of the summer, starts to go to flower or pollen. You can use actually the pollen from the top of the stalk there when it's just comes out. It's kind of like a corn. You can eat it like a corn on the cob before it turns to this fluff and seed. But we'll do a video on that hopefully this summer. I can get some of that. But I just wanted to show that just pretty little stream area here. When you're collecting, you want to be careful you don't get your feet wet, because that's obviously a bad thing when you're in a survival situation. But I have snowshoes on today, so it wasn't too much of an issue. When you're careful crossing streams like this, make sure you get a good solid causeway or island where you can walk without getting your feet wet.